Okay guys, so let's try and power through this because there's a lot to get through and I don't really want to bore you with all different types of specs and stuff like that. So we're going to power through this. Okay, so the quickest unboxing ever, Feiyutech SCORP 2. Let's open it up and we've got in here the manual, a quick manual, but Feiyutech have loads of video demonstrations on their website and inside the Feiyutech app as well. We've got tons of different cables for all sorts of different cameras. Yeah. We have the little Arca Swiss plate here. And there's a big one which is attached to the gimbal. You'll see that in a second. And yeah, that's about it really. Oh, and we have the lens support here as well. Comes with a lens support. So yeah, that's it. Let's go to the gimbal. So first of all, looking over the body, it's a mix of some sort of hard plastic, some monoplastic plastic or something they call it. I don't even know what it is, but yeah, some sort of hard plastic. But all of the mounts and all that kind of stuff, they're all made of metal. So it feels really sturdy. There's no problem in terms of build quality in here. Nothing what you would expect from any other top manufacturer brand. It's pretty good. No problems there at all. Going to the front here, let's quickly go over all the buttons. We've got this massive sort of jog dial here, which can be used to do pans, tilts, all that kind of stuff. So at the moment, we're on tilt. So we can see it's going up and down. And if I press it again, on the screen here, I can see pan. So now it's going to pan left and right. This little function button changes what the dial here does. If you've got like a follow focus motor or anything else on top, this will control the focus as well. So that's that. We've then got the FPV button on the back here. So if I press the FPV, then you can see the camera's just going to kind of just float around wherever it wants to go because now we're in FPV mode. I'm going to come out of that now and go back to pan follow and just double tap that to center it all up. The trigger button here. So the trigger button you can see at the front here, that is for obviously locking the gimbal so it stays in place. No matter where you move, it will lock in place. Or you can double tap it to center it back up or triple tap to go into selfie mode. Yeah. So let me triple tap that to get back out. And that is that. On the rear of the handle here, and I love this handle by the way, it's got an F1 button on this side, and then if we spin it round to this side, we've got an F2 button. Now these F1 and F2, they are customizable. F2 is already set to lock the touchscreen, so if I press that, no matter what you do on a touchscreen, nothing will happen. Around this side, you've got your power button, double tap to go to sleep, and now it's sleeping, and then double tap to wake up. And that's it, it's awake now. And on the rear here as well, you can see we've got a record button, a mode button, so that will switch modes as well, just like you would do on any other gimbal. And then we've got a little jog dial here, which we can use to control the camera too. Pretty much standard gimbal stuff. If you look on the side here, we've got these locking bolts here. Now these locking bolts are one here, one up the side here, and one at the back here, and they will lock your pan, tilt, follow the axis when you're traveling. No problems there. What I also love about this body is we've got these two legs here, which if I slide them down, these are amazing because I'm always forgetting my little tripod mount. So whenever I'm out and I want to rest this on the ground or whatever, if I haven't got my tripod mount, it's a bit of a nightmare. So these little legs here, absolutely love these little things. Can you see them? Give you a little close-up shot there. Absolutely amazing. Under here, we've got a USB-C charging. So there's a whole host of automated features you have. You also have like A and B tracking points as well. So using the buttons here or using the app, but for doing the A and B tracking, you go set an A point, then you set how long you want it to hold for. Then you set a B point. Then you want to put how long it takes to get from point A to point B. And then you also want to put how long it takes to hold on that B point as well. And then once you've done all that, you can put in the tracking and then press OK. It will trigger the camera to record and then you're ready to go. Just let it do its thing and you can see a shot here which I used it on, and yeah, I just think it's absolutely amazing. The barrel roll is another one of my favorites. You can see the barrel roll shot here as well. I love doing that, and it's an automated barrel roll as well, so you don't have to press anything or keep it at a steady movement. You can change the speed of it. You can change if you want to do it clockwise or counterclockwise once, or if you want it to be continuous. There's so many things going on in this gimbal and it's absolutely amazing. You can control it via Bluetooth or via all the cables which I showed you. So I've got a USB-C plugged into one of the ports here. Then I can just plug it into the side of the camera. So I can change ISO, shutter speed, f-stop. There's so much things you can do on here. It can be done on the app as well. It's just absolutely insane. Now, I didn't really think I would like another gimbal. Perfectly fine with my RSC2, but since I've got this, it's just absolutely crazy. When you're adjusting the gimbal, you normally undo these dials here, then you can slide the joints backwards and forwards. Underneath here, they've got these little red dots that are on sliders. Now that helps you to remember where your gimbal settings were. So it's so much easier to, you know, take your lens off, change it, whatever, or pack it away, and then just easily to remember where the last setting was without having to remember numbers and that kind of stuff. Absolutely fantastic. So also what I want to show you is vertical shooting. So if I go into the settings and we've got the panorama, a time lapse, auto rotate, all that kind of stuff. If I go into portrait mode, you can see it turns into portrait mode. And then I've got to kind of hold the gimbal so the camera's facing forward like that. But there's also another way to do it, which is a much nicer way, I think, in my opinion. Take off this whole bottom plate here. Yeah, let's take off this whole bottom plate. And then if you look here, we've got this little tiny plate. Now this is the plate where the camera attaches. So I'm gonna take that one off too. And then we're left with this little plate here, yeah? So that's the one that goes here, camera goes on top. Now, if I remove this one here, this arm, and just slide it off. Oops, let's go up and just take it off. I can then put the main plate, which holds the camera, onto the gimbal arm here. So now that means if I want to do vertical shooting without having to bend my arms forward, I can now do vertical shooting just like that. So it's quite nice and adaptable, and you could run like this all day, because you know sometimes when you're doing reels for clients, all that kind of stuff, it's a bit of a mad one when you're holding it forward like that. So this is a really nice way of doing it. Better than the briefcase mode, I think, in, you know, the way that you tilt the gimbal forward. So yeah, I really like that. So what I want to show you is this little red light, and just right next to it you can see this camera. Now that is the AI camera. And now there's a few ways to make this gesture work. So I'm just going to move this back a bit. And then if I come out the way, you see the light's red. So now if I make this gesture here, you can see the light turns green. And now it's following me everywhere I go. Absolutely fantastic. And now I really stress this out. I know most people just do a one quick test and then they, you know, follow someone or follow themselves, but I really wanted to stress this out. And I'm talking about, I wanted to break it. So in that intro you saw with my son and my daughter and the other guy, all on skates, all dressed in similar clothing, all skating around and all that kind of stuff. What you didn't know is that that whole shot when my son got in the car until the end at the skates, that was a one-shot take. I didn't cut the camera at all. My son was the one who initiated the AI tracking, and I'm really shocked that it managed to keep him in center, even though there was so much activity going on the back of a moving car. There was no cameraman involved in that. That was just stuck onto the back of the car, no cameraman involved. It was absolutely insane. Now, people like to throw the term AI around a lot, like everything has AI in now, but this tracking is really smart. I'm really surprised by how good it really works, and definitely something I will use. Now there was a gesture which to turn this off, which was like this. Let me show you. It was like that. But for me, it doesn't seem to work. It worked before I updated it, but now it doesn't seem to work. Ah, it worked. It worked finally. So normally what I do is I just activate it using the OK sign, and then I just deactivate it using the OK sign again, and it works absolutely fine. So there, it's tracking me, yeah? And now if I want to deactivate it, just do the OK sign again, and it doesn't track me. So yeah, that's the way I do it. Now, I didn't really think I would like another gimbal. Perfectly fine with my RSC2, but since I've got this, it's just absolutely crazy. There's ports all over the front and backs where you can connect different camera and accessories and follow focus and all that kind of stuff. It's just mad, it's mad. But my two most impressive features are the feet. I love the feet because that saves me in a pinch, and I love the AI tracking. Now, is there anything I don't like about this gimbal? There's one thing which I'm not keen on, but it's not a deal breaker. So let me bring this a bit closer so you can see. So if you look here, the back of the gimbal is quite close to my fingers. You see that? It's quite close to my fingers here. It's okay if I'm holding it down here. I've got a few, like, I don't know, that's just like half a centimeter, if that, between my knuckle and the back of the gimbal. Now my hands are quite big. They're fairly big. You know, if I'm holding a camera, you can see they're quite big. So if you've got big hands, this might, you know, get in the way. But would I give up the handle? Absolutely not, because going from up high to low, to me, is everything. Without having to bolt on extra bits and pieces and, you know, different handles and stuff, I think, yeah, that this actually works really well for me. Battery life, they say, is about 13 hours, but I got around 11 hours. Now, I'm hoping this is going to improve over time. Maybe if I'm not using Bluetooth or something like that, it might last longer, but I got about 11 hours, which I'm not going to complain at because it still lasted me a full day of work, and that's not much difference than my DJI. What is the price? So for the SCORP 2, it is US dollars 369 and Great British pounds 399. You've got the SCORP Mini 2 as well, which is a smaller version of this, which is made for smartphones, smaller cameras and that kind of stuff. And that retails at US dollar 269, Great British pounds 289. And yeah, that should be available right now. So there's a code down in the bottom if you're interested in getting a discount on this as well, and 10% off. But yeah, absolutely amazing. And what can I say, man? Feiyutech, thank you so much for sending this to me. Absolutely amazing, guys. You know, it really acts as like a second cameraman for me, and I will definitely use this. With my RSC2, I had to have the Raven Eye, had to use the phone to do the tracking, that kind of stuff. I know some of them have screens on the DJIs now, but with all of this and the AI tracking, you don't need to put any handles or any extra bits and pieces on. It's an absolute winner. So guys, thank you. That is it. Take care, and I will see you on the next one later.